Sad times in Camp Massatators. The coffee tastes like lake stank somehow. And she hasn't quite been as happy. Also, I can barely walk.
I'm not super happy. You're hurting so much.
Jen found something on a barefoot running forum that had a picture that looked a little bit similar, with maybe the bruising being a little further back than me. So yeah, I'm gonna hike out of here with no insole whatsoever and see. Hopefully I can just walk 15 miles. I always have these start to fail here. These have been used since the start of the trip and possibly the Sierra trip also. And usually it's right at the ball where I start to see them fail. But again, I used these all last year and I didn't have this issue, so we're really not sure what's going on. Though meanwhile, Ultra Quality strikes once again and the shoes are splitting in that exact same spot after 200 miles or so. So unfortunately, due to all the issues we had getting size 14 shoes on the PCT and the ECT, we ended up buying a huge number of the Olympuses, enough to get me through the entire CDT. Every time they split like this, we send them in for warranty. And so far, they've given us a free pair of shoes every time. So that's good. But if these are not working, this isn't sustainable going like I'm going. So if we have to switch shoes and make do with something else and just save those for shorter trips, that's what we're going to have to do. You would think by the time I'm doing the third of these long trips, everything would just be set and everything would work well. But
then
no.
you'd have to find a new trail name.
Mm-hmm. Happy, easygoing, fast hiking guy. Boob-loving scuba nacho man. A look just came from over there. So we did 16 miles yesterday, basically because we didn't have any choice. My feet were pretty much hurting the entire time. I haven't been able to mitigate it. It was just trying to get as far as we could so that today we could make it out, because the shorter day helped, but in general, it just seems to be getting worse no matter what. So we figured the best thing was to make it out as quickly as possible, try and deal with it, rest up a day or two, and then get back out here because, of course, we're on a timer. And if anybody is trying to lay bets on what the next big disaster is going to be after this one, we did smell smoke last night. We know we have a fire south of Chief Joseph that may be crossing 93 and could impact resupply and such a bit south. So looks like the fire season kicking off. We did have cell reception, just 1 to 2 bars up here this morning, which did help us make arrangements with the Trail Angel, and also showed us that our credit card has a bunch of fraudulent charges on it. And in addition to the bottom of my feet things, the sides of my Ultra is splitting yet again after a couple hundred miles. I figured out I have a hole in my rain jacket that came out of nowhere. Almost looks like something chewed through it. And on top of that, the liner of my shorts wore through, and I had to cut it out. So now I'm just in the pure shorts. Well, the Patagonia 9 trails, unfortunately, have some pretty big seams on the inside. And so now I've started having issues around those. Like I was telling Taters, I'm pretty sure next week is going to be a better week because we are eventually going to run short on things to go wrong here. So the goal of the town stop is going to be find shoes. I'm mixed between trying something like a Topo, which is a similar size, similar shoe, and maybe just has less give in the middle. Seeing if it's the arch, or just going with a burlier shoe and dealing with any of the heel issues or other things that have often cropped up with that. Our initial looking, we didn't have much luck trying to find the particular brand model of Keens that I used last year. And then just to minimize any further complications, we'll probably replace my shorts. I'll go back to Patagonia baggies, which don't have these same heavy seams on the inside to rub. Those are the same ones that I wore all last year, the bright orange ones. I do like these 9 Trail shorts I'm wearing, other than the zipper pockets can be a little uncomfortable sometimes, but if I have to replace them every 500 miles, yeah, that's getting a bit expensive. Versus the baggies, while they're not as comfortable, they do have nice big pockets, and I got through the entire ECT on just 2 or 3 pairs, and that was 5,000 miles. So we need to do that shopping, we need to buy the next resupply, and we need to get back on trail after the bare minimum of downtime. The goal isn't to heal up all the way. I never heal up all the way. It's just to get where it's not absolute misery out here and where I'm not causing further damage, because the scabs I was showing on the bottom of my feet are really sensitive and prone to basically ripping open or bleeding at this point. Today is the 29th of July and Jen is only with me until August 12th. I am really sad she's leaving with how things are going at the moment, but is what it is. And she is starting to get really excited for the start of the school year. We spent a couple of hours yesterday just talking about CubeSat, robotics, and what she's doing in physics and chem this year. So at least there's that, but it will be sad, and it is likely at this point that we're not going to make it all the way to West Yellowstone, which is where she is flying out of, which means sometime in the next 2 weeks, we got to figure some point where we can find a transport to get her off trail. And the more complicated that is, the earlier she might have to leave. When she leaves, pretty much the only gear that needs swapped is the tent. I have a Nemo Hornet 2-person that will be coming. It's a replacement for the one I kind of wore out on all the previous trips. I figured I was about due for a new one. The good news is the current tent, the 6 Moon Design Haven, is light enough that if I need to, I can carry that for a while and just use that solo. I would prefer to switch to the Nemo just because it is significantly quicker to set up. I have had that thing through so much weather. I trust it more than just about anything else. And it's less fiddly than, having to tighten down the tarp and the trekking poles and all that. Also, I really like being able to set it up and then position it, especially when I'm trying to stick into non-standard sites. I'm always finding stuff out here where I'm like, oh, this site will be perfect. And it turns out it's just the right size for the 2-person Hornet. But like the 3-person Tiger Wall or the Haven, way too wide of a footprint. So again, I could make anything work, but I like to prioritize being able to set up anywhere, set up quickly, and just minimize the hassle at the end of a long day when I'm just not in the mood for it. Also, the Hornet is green, just saying. I didn't record much yesterday just because it was a very, very painful day. I'm still hurting quite a bit at the moment. However, the fact that we have a plan and the prospect of getting off my feet at the end of today has me in a little bit higher spirits. Now, if we just for sure knew what was causing this, so I knew I wasn't going to have a reoccurrence on this next 120 plus mile carry once we leave the Hamilton area, I would be a lot happier. The good news is I did finally get Nightcore to warranty that 20K battery that was having a port issue. So I'm going to be on my 3rd new Nightcore 20K, which Jen is convinced I should just completely give up on and go back with my Anker. However, the Anker I have has been used so much, it is degraded, and I will likely need all the power I'm carrying for some of these longer stretches. Downside, horrible foot pain and burn area. Plus side, spectacular views of the mountains ahead. We have started running into northbounders. I talked to a guy yesterday while we were getting water, and I've seen a few others. The northbound bubble of people that I happen to know seems to be still somewhere around the Idaho border. Obviously, there are faster people and slower people, and also just the nature of this trail. Some people are doing hundreds of miles less than others. So I'm always kind of tempted to ask, oh, okay, so you came from the Mexican border, okay, and then try and figure out what they actually did just out of curiosity. The guy yesterday was asking information about Glacier and the Bob, concerned about permits and blowdowns, and he was actually intending to go do the Anaconda route up ahead because it was easier resupply and, saved him a week, etc.
Yeah, that definitely gets annoying. I would have walked right past these guys if Matt hadn't stopped and noticed and shown me. I'm so glad I didn't miss them. I get to see so many more things when I hike with Matt, because I would have never seen these guys on my own.
I'm thinking I need to make a scale of Tater's Joy, turtles, frogs, quokkas, Matt not getting nachos, all the things that makes her very happy. So far, so good-ish, and we are looking forward to hot town food today. But there is a very, very concerning thing. Basically, we've only been able to eat out twice or so in Montana. And both times the Mexican food was pretty good. That would mean that this time there is a good chance that the Mexican food's going to be disappointing. You don't seem concerned, Jen. Feels like we've exited the mountains and we're back into the cow fields. Pretty sure that's a grouse. So we just spooked the mama, but that would be baby grouse.
Aww.
He was pretty mellow, even with taters going, making loud noises. The mother is back in the trees there. Oh, there's another baby. And I was just talking about how it hadn't rained on us in a couple of days, and we might get wet today. We have roads galore here, and we are almost down to where we are going to meet our trail angel. Just hopefully she can get up the road, because otherwise I guess it's an 8-mile windy dirt road. So if she can't meet us, we're gonna have to go 8 more miles in a direction, which I might actually be able to do. My feet are doing better on the arch. Without any sort of insole, the ball of my foot is getting a little scraped up, but So one of the weird things about Taters and I's relationships is obviously there is a 10-year age difference, so there are certain cultural things. Spend a lot of time just trying to fill those in.
Yeah, it's really not an age thing. Even modern, like, pop culture stuff, there's the same disparity on, so...
I'm just saying, everybody should know who Trauma is and Lloyd Kaufman. Those are classics of the cinematic age. Don't know what you did growing up, but you should have, like, put down the Tolkien and absorbed some real culture. Romeo and Juliet, Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. So what we've actually found out is, while I was in school reading and doing all of that stuff, Taters was apparently just doing dictator parties and Model UN. So hard to work with models these days.